Okay, so we've given the deck overnight to dry out, and as you can see, it has dried out, and you can actually see where I missed with the 4-inch brush. But again, the 4-inch brush, you just definitely want to use something that is big and thick, because you're going on top of bare wood, so there's going to be a lot of friction, so you just want to apply the most of it. You don't want to make a mess of it, so it's best just to come close. So before we start on the second coat, what I'm going to do is just do a light sand to like the rails and anywhere where there may be some like loose wood fibers that you missed the first time, or if there's anything that was in the paint. So I just have a piece of the sanding paper here, and I cut it into a quadrant, and I'm just going to fold it in thirds here, and I'm just going to go around and sand, and then we're going to blow off the dust or dirt that has fallen on the deck overnight, or if your shoes had picked up anything. Now again, and before you start the painting of the second coat, I advise you to strain the paint out, because you don't want any big chunks or stuff like that in the paint. So I'm going to start to sand, and then we're going to blow off the deck. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to sand, just do a light sand to the top and the sides, just in case there's any threads. A lot of times you'll get threads or wood fibers that are on the side here from when you pressure wash and they didn't come off. So when you go to apply your first coat, it'll anchor it, and then it'll just sand off out after you do the first coat, like I am here. See, like right here, there's some wood, some fibers, and it just sands off right here. Splinter here was peel that back. You can really sand that down there. Okay, so I'm gonna put this down, and then we're gonna blow off the deck now. Okay, so that was a very important step right there, because you definitely want to start with a clean surface, and you don't want to start to roll paint on top of dirt or anything or chunks like that. So we'll be back to start to paint. Okay, so we're going to be applying the the second coat here, and this time I have my 3-inch angled blade here, because this is going to allow me to cut into the corners. And this is the wood right here that we're going to be painting. So this second coat is important here. What you want to do is you want to add more to whatever cracks that you have. This is going to fill them in because one coat isn't going to do it, especially the cracks are close to like 1/4 of an inch wide. But if they are that big, and you probably want to use the 10 times Restore. That's a thicker paint, and it's going to fill in a lot more. But again, this is the 4 times. So as you can see, it's drying fast here, so I just have to be fast here with it, because we're doing it in the sun, and you really don't want to do it in the sun, but for the camera's purpose, the sunlight will show up a lot better than if it was cloudy out. So once we have it on like that, I'm going to use my roller here and just roll off it, so you'll have a nice smooth uniform sheen to it. And just we'll cut this in here. Cut it in here. And again, this is a 3/8 nap roller. Okay, so that's done there, and you can see how it filled in more, so that you don't see any of those cracks and stuff like that. So I'm gonna reload this here, and we never did the first coat on the stair rails here, so I'm gonna get these first coated here. I like to use this brush better because I have more control than using that 4-inch brush. But the 4-inch brush could definitely hold a lot more of the paint or stain than this one, especially going over a bare wood surface. Because again, the bare wood, there's going to be a lot of surface friction. And again, with the brush, I'm able to force the paint into these gaps here. The gaps and the screw holes or nail holes. And now I'll roll it. Down here, there's some holes. There's a hole there. There's a big gouge there. There's a hole there. So we want to force the paint in there. Here. Once then I'll go back over it and push more paint in there and kind of get more. If you go like this with the brush, because you're doing this on top of it, you're creating a right angle with the bristles there, and kind of like forces the paint in there, you see, and go back over it like that. So here we'll put a lot on. You can see how it's filling in there. Here. So again, go perpendicular, and it cleans off your brush too. really putting a lot of paint in here to try to fill this. Again, if you have gaps that are bigger than 1/4 of an inch, then I would recommend to use the 10 times. Okay, kind of just work that in there. Clean it, take your brush and clean it up a little bit so it doesn't flow all over the place. Come back to your roller. Put the brush down. See, it's starting to drip there, so we'll just go over it with the roller there. And when you put a lot of paint in there, if you have a surface that is like the railing here where it's angled down on like a 45, then this stuff might drip. So you want to just come back and check it like in a minute or two, and just hit this again so that if it does start to drip down, you'll take care of that. Okay, so as you can see, this has already started to dry here. It's still wet in the cracks there because I really forced a lot in there. So we'll reload this here. And I'm going to do the same thing that I did to this one, but I'm going to get going with the floor now. So this is the second coat. It's a lot different than the first coat. Now we're able to glide on the surface. So I'm going to use this cut brush to help me get right in there without getting it all over the siding. And this brush too is good because I can get right up against that edge to make a clean line without getting it onto the spindles here. So I'm just gonna go around and just cut this whole edge in here to clean this up here. And I'm putting a lot down because I'm just gonna cut it in once, and then just make sure to fan out here so you don't get a line. So after I'm done cutting in, then I'm gonna use my 9-inch roller to roll out